This is Rockslapping Champions. Player 1, playing Nova, we have AOM Master. And player 2, playing Karax, we have Slade. So let's have a look at the masteries. We have airstrike reduction cost for Nova, the primary ability damage for Nova, and we have a 2-to-1 split in Nova energy regeneration and unit HP regeneration mastery. And the reason why you have this kind of split is you want to ensure that Nova can spam her abilities while she is in combat. At the same time, you want to have some kind of HP regeneration on your units to make your units a little bit more robust in the middle of a fight. For Karax over here, we have the structure HP and the repair beam masteries, which means we are expecting a tower Karax build. But we do have a chrono boost mastery allocation instead of a spear of Fodder mastery, and this is generally not recommended because it significantly slows down your expansion time for Karax, and Karax needs to be able to expand as quickly as possible to have a really good economy in the later stages of the game where he is most needed. Now, Spear of Fodder energy, what you can do with it is take your initial 100 energy and use that to clear your main rocks, and at least this gives you a mineral income while you get a foothold in the rest of the game. But Karax over here has opted to go for the Chrono Boost Mastery instead. Now, we have a barracks coming down for Nova, and we already have a command center that's being built right next to the expansion rocks, so the Marines will be used to clear the rocks here. And hopefully Karax will be able to deal with the attack wave. Reduction-wise, we have a forge coming up, so we are expecting that kind of build for Karax. He's already putting down his cybernetics core, so I'm assuming he wants to go up and build some energizers, and maybe even go up to a Twilight Council to get some get the upgrade for the energizer energy regeneration. First attack wave is over here, and it has spawned, and it appears is a relatively fast-moving attack wave, so we should be expecting a Zerg kind of attack wave, or maybe a Mech Terran. Now, we have a bunch of cannons that have come down here to deal with the attack wave, but notice the split on the cannons over here, and notice how the Zerglings react to that. Because there is a split in the attack waves, the Zerglings because there's a split in the cannons, the Zerglings can actually get a wrap around the cannons, and this is very important, as you'll see in the later stages of the game. It increases the amount of surface area that the cannons have, which increases the amount of damage that they take. So this is very, very detrimental to Karax's building placement and his structures. Noah is on the way here, switches to the assault mode and clears the defenders. He moves forward as well and clears the defenders on the second set of geysers. Starts a wailing away at the spine crawler over here. Marines are working their way through these rocks. Karax, on the other hand, has not cleared his expansion yet. Reduction-wise, he's getting the repair beam upgrade and a Twilight Council here. And a Robo as well for some reason, I'm not really sure why. First harass wave for the bot comes in. Nova one-shots the attack wave with just a shotgun blast. And the command center is now lifted and being put into position. Marines have cleared the gas rocks as well. Yeah, I'm not sure why the Robo is being built over here, but Nova blinks forward, one-shots this attack wave. There is a Roach over here. It's not part of the attack wave. It is part of a bunch of enemies that are sitting here to defend this ramp. But we have another bunch of cannons over here. Again, there is a split in between the cannons, and this is going to give Karax a lot of problems, especially against the Zerg kind of attack waves where there are a large number of melee units, so we'll see what happens there. We have a shield battery over here, and we have a couple of shield batteries and a photon cannon being built on this side. So far, Karax has a total of 10 photon cannons and 3 shield batteries built. And Nova has reunited herself with her Marines. And we have a probe that's moving down here. I believe he wants to go and take his expansion right now. Nova's on this side and is getting ready to start taking out this the first bonus area. Sabotage drone goes down. It's positioned near these, near a big bunch of the defenders over here to deal with them relatively effectively. It's always better to use your free abilities rather than, you know, charging your marines in. Probe, staring at these rocks, very, very angry. Maybe the rocks will spontaneously combust. But nope, it's just staring at these rocks over here. So most of that enemy camp is essentially destroyed here, so Nova will probably clear that at the after this wave of bots are done. Reduction-wise here, we have the optimized ordnance upgrade, which increases the speed of the structures. It's a really great upgrade for Karax. It makes his cannons even more effective. You can see over here, Karax is flowing the 125 energy, so he could have used that to actually clear his rocks. But there is a wraparound of the Lings on this photon cannon, and Nova tries to save it, switches over to the assault mode, but one cannon goes down already before she's able to clear the attack wave. I appear to have lost my minimap, so I'm just going to get that up here. Second attack wave, Nova makes short work of as well. And there should be another attack wave that will be coming up soon. Karax will be struggling with this because there's a lot of spacing between the photon cannons, and it allows his structures to take more damage than they actually need. So Karax is going to be struggling this game. At least if he continues to place this kind of... if he continues to go through this kind of structure placement. So far, he's only lost one photon cannon over here. There's another attack wave. Nova blink forward, and the Infestor is able to still catch the Marines, but the defensive drone comes down here to reduce the amount of damage that the Marines are taking, and Nova now is going to start working towards this bonus objective. Liberator siege up, Aberration just gets completely wrecked by the Liberators, and I believe there is a siege up here for Liberators, draws a little bit of aggro, and a airstrike to essentially take care of what is left in this bonus camp. There is an attack wave over here, and there are banelings now in this this attack wave. The lower attack wave levels of Mutiling do have banelings in them, but Karax is able to save his structures here because he does have a shield battery upgrade now, which gives the units, which gives his structures a temporary shield which prevents them from taking damage. So AOM Master pings this, asking him to build one cannon there, and Karax solar lances and drops a lot of energy to try and take out this. We'll pull this up again. So that was an interesting response to the request. And AO Master says, just one is enough, it'll freeze the timer. So when you have something that is hitting this bonus objective, the timer will actually freeze. So you have all the time in the world to clear that bonus objective, as long as you have one thing that is actually hitting the bonus objective. It can be a Zergling, it can be a piece of static defense, it can even be a worker. It'll freeze the timer as long as this thing is taking damage, and we have another 5 photon cannons, 6 photon cannons, and 2 shield batteries over here that are 7 photon cannons that are made to try and take out this bonus objective. It is completely overkill over here. Another airstrike goes down and essentially clears this area out. There are a bunch of swarm hosts that are buried, or that are burrowed over here, but those things go down because Nova does have detection. Next attack wave decides to sneak by Nova, and the banelings slam into the harvesting bot over here, but Nova blinks forward and with a shotgun blast essentially clears it. But this bot is about half HP right now. Next attack wave, next harass wave is over here, and we'll blink forward and one shot. She does take a lot of damage from the banelings, but the shield is very, very useful for her. Next to harass wave spawns over here. And Nova goes down. Well, she does end up soaking a lot of the damage here, but yeah, AO Master brings out Nova instantly here. Having the shotgun ability for Nova gives you a great amount of splash damage. It's very, very important. So I'm not sure if the mineral cost was worth it, but having that splash damage is very, very useful. As you can see over here, it just takes out the banelings and it protects your army, at least your ground army, against the banelings that are there. In total, Nova has done a total of 17k, almost 18k damage. Spear of Fadun, 2000 damage. Siege tanks are out now, and a bunch of Spire Mines are laid down. And you can see the effectiveness of Nova with the assault mode over here. It protects your army against the Banelings. Again, another blink here, and Nova gets wrecked again from the hybrids. But the scary units are gone. The Banelings can deal a lot of damage, and you do not want to lose your army. So all in all, Nova has died twice, but there is only one Marine lost over here. And we have 2 cannons. And Nova goes down again through the sheer amount of damage from the aberration and the spine crawlers. They tend to focus down Nova, but again, it is not too big of an issue. This time Nova is not spawned out early because there is a very, very high cost to getting that. But we have a bunch of ghosts now as well that are out, and these things will help snipe the aberrations and some of the vipers and infestors that will be spawning. Spire Mines over here. There is no defense here for Karax, and Nova has to defend this side. And this side is going to be a little bit more nasty because there will be hybrid dominators in this attack wave. Nova comes out at the last minute over here. This minimizes the cost of resurrection, and a hybrid dominator aggroes on Nova, but there is a blink back, and Nova gets snowballed by the other hybrid dominator, and now there is an airstrike over here. Purifier Beam goes down a little bit too late, but does take out the remainder of this attack wave. My apologies for the minimap disappearing. It is a bug that is caused by the UI interface. Whenever a calldown is used, which changes the viewpoint, so for example Karax's Solar Lance and Nova's Griffin Airstrike, you'll always get that. 5 Marines have gone down, and Nova has gone down a total of 4 times, so it is pretty nasty. But it is very, very important to make sure that you do not lose your more expensive units over here. We have a look at the costs of units lost over here. So AO Master averaging around 100 APM, and Karax averaging 20 APM. Nova has lost a total of 1,050 resources. Karax with a total of 300 loss here. Nova is starting to push through and clear whatever's left here. Nova's total damage is about 21k damage. Spear of Fadun around 5k. And Nova cleans up this next set of geysers for the harvesting bots. Karax is building a lot of defensive structures, but again, notice how these defensive structures are spread out, and the issue is this area does not get harassed. The spawn point of the harass wave is over here, which means that these things will probably miss this set of cannons. So Karax is not really defending this next set of harvesting bots. Nova realizes this and starts to split up her army a little bit. So we have a bunch of liberators over here, and the probe gets aggroed, and okay, he manages to save the probe here. But Nova has split up the army a little bit now. There is a bunch of Spire Mines and a bunch of siege tanks, but there are no air units here to defend against this attack wave. And there will be Mutalisks here, as you can see. The Zerglings get completely obliterated. Defensive drone comes down here while Nova gets into position. Airstrike comes down because Nova realizes that it's going to be a while before she will be able to deal with the Mutalisks herself. That wipes out this attack wave, and he is trying to aggressively push this side of... he has gotten his Solar Lance, his Solar Flare upgrade now, and this wave here that has just completely wrecked the buildings. We have a total loss here for Karax, and that shield battery is going to go down as well. So he's lost a total of 11 cannons right now, and he's still aggressively trying to push this side, which is not really going to help him right now. And there will be another spawn, I believe, of an attack wave here, of a harass wave for the harvesting bots, and they might actually aggro this. This time we have a bunch of liberators who guard these siege tanks, so another defensive drone comes down here to defend, and this Mutalisk is starting to clear up. In total, we have a total loss of 13 cannons and 1 shield battery. Nothing else lost for Nova. And Nova is parked over here now. Next harass wave comes down, and it is going to start working its way on this side. And there are a lot of Zerglings, and they get a wrap around here. A few orbital strikes being used, but I believe, does he save the cannon? Does he save the cannon? Oh no, he just doesn't save that cannon. Cannon was very close, so we have another loss there for Cannon here. He has managed to clear a little bit of this area, but now there is another harass wave on this side. Another bunch of Mulisks, and there is an Infestor, and they are going to start targeting this Harvesting Bot. This Harvesting Bot will kind of be okay because they are going to try and take out this, but there is an attack wave here, and the nuke goes down and essentially wipes out the entire attack wave. Nova. There is a bunch of Zerglings, and these Zerglings are going to clean up whatever is left. Harvesting Bot was about to go down, so Nova realizes that and starts to uses an airstrike to clear whatever is left. There is nothing left of Karax's defensive structures on this side. In total, he has lost 19 cannons and 3 shield batteries. And now he might actually lose this pylon. Nova is going to start clearing the next set of geysers. There's very little time, and it's very risky to try and clear the second bonus objective, so Nova has decided to forego that and focus on the main objective first. Broodlord gets sniped out of the air, he goes, same goes for the Infestor and the Ultralisk. And this set of geysers is essentially cleared. See, Liberator Zone goes down here and clears the remainder of the static defense for Amon. Let's have a look at the production here. So we are getting the solar efficiency upgrade, and we're getting the shield upgrades here for Karax as well, which is good. Karax is busy producing some structures. He is producing some static defense. We have a bunch of observers, and he's putting down defensive structures on this side. The thing is, there are no attack waves that will be coming up for the harvesting bots on this side, so I'm not sure why he's putting these structures down. And the other thing I have also noticed is that he doesn't have a single Energizer, and Energizers are amazing for Karax. They increase the attack speed and the movement speed of enemy unit of his units and his allied units. It's very important to have that as a key part of your static defense. Plus, the Energizers in phasing mode can actually provide a warp field. So he has made a bunch of observers over here. I believe he wants to try and fortify this position. Okay, so he has put in an observation in observer mode here, and a purifier beam goes down, and a solar lens as well. But I believe that that was not very effective. So let's see what his plan is over here. A bunch of spider mines are left over on this side. Observer still looking around, and Amon will rebuild these things, as you can see over here. So unless you actually clear this area completely, Amon will just rebuild all the static defenses and units that he lost. First harass wave over here, second harass wave drops on this side, and the probe is trying to rebuild all these cannons here, but there are no shield batteries, and he is going to lose a lot of structures over here. First shield battery comes down, and he puts down a Kaidarn monolith to deal damage to the higher HP structures and units. But this area has just been completely ravaged by the harass wave over here. Another harass wave comes down, and Nova is able to deal with it with some airstrikes. And there is another harass wave on this side. Lots of Mulisks over here, and they're dealing a lot of damage. So in total, Karax has lost 25 cannons and 4 shield batteries. Next harass wave over here just again gets completely destroyed by Nova's. She's now at +3 attack anyway, so she has all the attack upgrades and has everything that she needs for dealing with this. Kaidarn Monolith has been able to clear this, and with the Solar Flare upgrade as well, it has helped clear this. There is an airstrike that comes down over here, and these Mulisks start to work their way on here. But Nova has split her army up. We have a small defensive force on this side with a bunch of siege tanks, and we have another defensive force here with Nova and her Liberators. So this will be relatively well defended. There is another harass wave on this side now, and this harass wave is probably going to start clearing whatever is left here. Has been put. He has put some cannons. I'm not sure why he's trying to cannon push into this side. There are swarm hosts over here, and they will actually like deal a lot of damage to your structures. And now there is another. This is the biggest attack wave of this mission, by the way, and this area is just going to get completely destroyed. There is an airstrike that goes down to clear some of these smaller units here, but there is now another harass wave. Fungal growth on the Marines, but there is a lot of healing, and the Liberators over here are perfectly okay. Deal with the air units. Hybrid Dominators just start to completely ravage this side. Hybrid Dominators deal a lot of damage, and they have the Plasma Blast ability, and those things can actually one-shot cannons, as you can see over there. There's nothing really they can do to save them. There's a small bit of an attack wave over here. Another harass wave comes down, but an airstrike just cleans up whatever is left here. And Karax is still dealing with this Hybrid Dominator with Photon Cannons and not Kaidaran Monoliths. Kaidaran Monoliths are really important here, especially if you want to deal with hybrids. They're not really important when dealing with the low HP attack waves, but when you have Hybrid Dominators and hybrids, you need to have your Kaidaran Monoliths. So all in all, Karax has lost a total of 47 cannons, 1 Kaidaran Monolith, and 5 shield batteries. But that is the end. The last harvesting bot makes its way back to the base, and that is GG